and I serve as the executive director and founder of the Brotherhood of Excellence Academy. We're on a mission of ending fatherless generations by preparing males for empowerment, entrepreneurship, enrollment, enlistment, and employment. Under the empowerment segment of our mission, we have launched a broadcast called Teaching Boys and Raising Sons. Again, we have started a broadcast called Teaching Boys and Raising Sons. We're going to be interviewing mothers or fathers or even joint couples who are actually raising sons. In some instances, they may be raising sons now. They maybe have already raised their sons, and so they have the opportunity to reflect on how did they prepare them for manhood, or how did they have conversations about police brutality. Let's not forget George Floyd, and what kind of conversations did that take place within their household. We want to share what these parents, these mothers, these fathers have learned on their journey of raising sons. So Teaching Boys and Raising Sons, everybody can get something out of it. It might be a leadership nugget. It might be something that you have been really wanting to hear other people's thoughts and opinions about it. Again, we are super excited for the opportunity under our mission and one of the components of our mission is empowerment. And so we are so excited to be able to offer these empowerment segments under our broadcast, Teaching Boys and Raising Sons. Let's get started. Back. Glad to have you back. I got all my settings together, so I'm good.
All right. We are rocking and rolling.
So we're going to talk a little bit about pre-COVID. So what were some of the supports that were in place for your sons in terms of their academic need pre-COVID?
So pre-COVID, when I think about academic supports, I have to say, I'm blessed that my sons have all done very well academically. We did a lot of focused work on and getting them involved in enrichment activities. And I'm happy to say that the schools that they attended did provide those activities, things when it came to, like Lego robotics or, coding. My oldest son, he learned how to play the trombone in elementary school because they had a band program, and he still plays to this day. So some of those supports, I think for us came by way of either enrichment or extracurricular activities. Their typical academic, their academic experiences have been mainly positive, supportive teachers, but there have been instances where, my husband and I did have to step in terms of advocacy for them. But I have to say for the most part, they were very positive experiences in their academic lives. And we did a lot in terms of activities. And that's one thing that I felt very strongly about. My husband, he grew up in sports, so he felt very strongly about involving them in team activities, giving them the opportunity to really be able to grapple some of life's issues in a team-based environment. So pre-COVID, we did a lot of extracurricular activities. And I think with boys, you just have to keep them active and busy. So that's what we did in any and every way we could.
If you're looking for the opportunity to lend your gifts or your talents or your abilities to a nonprofit organization on a volunteer basis, please consider the Brotherhood of Excellence Academy. For an application, visit our website at www.brotherhoodofexcellenceacademy.org. We are super excited that you have taken the opportunity to learn more about our broadcast, learn more about our organization, and we hope that you will consider becoming a board of director member. Again, visit our website at www.brotherhoodofexcellenceacademy.org. Take care. I love that. I love that. So clearly the question is going to be March the 13th, 14th, 15th. I jokingly tell people I was on the road, literally the 13th, coming back from visiting a district, and had my schedule prepared. And then that weekend / that Monday, the governor announced that, at least here in North Carolina, the governor announced schools are closed.
We're shutting down. That's right. Yeah.
And it's somewhat been that way now about a year or so. We're getting right down to that March when we shut down this time last year. But so what kind of supports were in place to meet your son's academic need post-COVID?
So, I have to say that, when, that after that weekend when the world shut down, right? It was very, very difficult in the beginning. And, I recognize that we were absolutely in unprecedented times. So it was something that no school district, no teacher knew to, tackle. But on my end as a parent, not only was I grappling with just the, severity of the situation and, concern for, my family and my loved ones, but then also being thrusted into the role of a homeschool teacher with, with having very minimal teaching experience. I've worked in schools before. I live with a family of educators, but to be charged with that responsibility on top of having a full-time job myself was, quite a challenge. And so my initial goal was, okay, I need some resources. I don't know what to do with these children while they're here. And, teachers, while you all are figuring out, we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs for a few hours. Like, this is not enough. So, unfortunately, I have to say that the resources that I found to be most helpful came from my community of educators and friends and family who were educators that were in the process of pulling together resources for their own students and, for their own schools, and began floating me a lot of content and information that I could then, tap into for my boys while the schools were trying to figure it out. So, if I can speak very honestly, I didn't find the schools at the very start of the pandemic to be able to provide enough of the resources that we needed, because my children were performing at a very high level. And so I was ill-equipped to maintain that. There just wasn't possible for me. So as time went on, they really got better at, providing more resources. There was a schedule that was in place because, at the beginning of the pandemic, I set up a schedule for us. Like, we sat down at the table and mapped out, okay, this is the time we're going to eat. This is the time we're going to do, some virtual work. We're going to take a break. This is lunch. We're going to go out. We really had the entire week mapped out. And once the school came out with their schedule and their calendar, we then, had to shift and adjust again, get acclimated to the resources that they were providing, make sure that we all understood how to access them, and, all of those little intricate pieces that really play a role in being able to get something done. And I'm happy. And, I recognize that we were privileged in the fact that we didn't have to worry about how we were getting on the internet. We already had Wi-Fi, because I was already working from home. I already had to work through the challenges of connectivity throughout the middle of the day, and, all the things that would have been detrimental, with 5 people all on the internet at the same time. So as time went on, the school really did beef it up, and there were some great resources that they provided. The teachers were very responsive. I really saw them trying very hard to make it the best, situation that they could. We even had, teachers come and do socially, distance visits. Like they came and did a drive-by and waved and, brought water bottles and candy for the kids. So they really tried very hard once they got in the swing of things. Now, the beginning was tough, but once things, really got up and running, I felt like they did a very good job under the circumstances. And so now this year, in terms of this fall 2021, and now going into, fall 2020, now going into spring 2021, we were looking for hybrid options. My children were not doing well being home 100% of the time. Like I mentioned, they are very used to being active, very used to enrichment activities throughout the week. We were busy almost every evening of the week. So they did not thrive in, this virtual environment. And, it took quite a bit to maintain focus and, keep them motivated. So my husband and I felt like if there was an opportunity and an option for them to go back to school, that we wanted to take that opportunity as soon as possible. So my youngest two, in the midst of all of this, I transitioned them to a charter school because my middle son, he finished elementary school, is going into middle school this year. And I really wanted both my middle and my youngest son to remain in the same school together. So we shifted them to a charter school where, it's a K-8 school, much smaller population, and they were able to take advantage of a hybrid schedule for about a month and a half in the fall. And there was a long break after the winter break, and now they are back in a hybrid model. And I'm very happy that we have that option. I feel like they are doing a lot better with having that opportunity to be back in school, to be around other kids, to be in front of their teachers. I think it does make a huge difference. So we are, still adjusting from week to week. There's different challenges and, different things that come about that we just work through as best we can.
Absolutely amazing. It's very interesting to hear the challenges. I'll just use that term, the challenges and sometimes the struggles of, it's because it stops so abruptly. It's not like nobody really had time to plan anything. It was Friday you were at school and Monday you're not.
That's right.
And really hoping, there were conversations about maybe they're going to go back 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, it's now May. Mm-hmm. And they're still at home, Mm-hmm. So I love what you talked about in terms of we have to develop a schedule. I've now got to make adjustments and work full time and also try to be full time, quote unquote, teacher. But I love how you talked about really looking at other options based on the needs of your sons.
can't speak enough about um, the mental health toll this takes on our children. Our children are not designed to be isolated. They're just not. They don't thrive in isolation. And, I'm grateful that, there's three of them here, right? So they're able to engage and interact with one another, probably more than they would want to, but at least they have each other. But it is a serious challenge to be able to stay motivated in isolation, and to I'll quote my youngest son, as we were preparing him for the start of this school year, knowing that he was starting a new school. The first thing he asked is, "Mommy, how am I going to make new friends over the computer?" And that was a real concern for him. Like, really, how do I do that? How do I make friends over the computer? I've never had to do that. So it's absolutely imperative that we manage the health concern. Like, that is a top priority for me as well. But, when my husband and I really sat down and really evaluated what was going on from day to day with the boys, we recognized very early that, they need to be back in school. Like, and it it is it's an individual decision. Every parent, every family has to make that decision for themselves. I have friends whose children are absolutely perfectly fine at home, and they love it and would want to stay home, forever. But in my household, that is not the case, and so we had to adjust. And I found myself really trying to be very cognizant and kind of tap into how they were feeling emotionally from day to day. And, in the very beginning, it was really like a roller coaster ride. It's like each day I didn't know who was going to pop up on, the emotional challenge meter for the day. And just trying to be attentive to that, in addition to managing my own, concerns and worries, and, the news plastering bad news, and, having loss of family. They experienced all of that right along with me, my husband, and the rest of the world, from their, child's lens. And so, I was concerned because as an adult, I was struggling with all of what was going on. So I just couldn't imagine what it really felt like for them. So, really wanting to tap into how they were really feeling and make time and space for them to openly share how they were feeling was really important for us. And allowing them the opportunity to, be frustrated and, take that time when they needed to, was something that we made sure we made time for, and allowed patience and understanding for, in terms of what they were going through. So it was a lot. It's a lot.
I love that. I like, because
Yeah.
again, it's that adjustment, it's that mental health piece, consistently talking about grace and compassion. I think one of the organizations I work with, we're constantly looking at grace and compassion, because you don't know what people are going through. There is
Mhm.
this, we keep moving on. No, you do have to take time to say, okay, we're still in a global pandemic.
That's right.
We're still trying to make adjustments. Even a year later, we're still in a global pandemic. Yes, a vaccine is coming, it's here. It depends on your community, it depends on what phase you're in, but making sure
Hmm.
that the kids are safe, while at the same time being cognizant of that social emotional opportunities, or social emotional learning skills, and the mental
Hmm.
health toll that this global pandemic has taken on all of our children. So thank you for
Yes.
sharing that. Thank you for sharing
Yes.
that. I'm Well, hello, my name is Shamika Smith, and I hope that you have had the opportunity to enjoy our broadcast. I hope that you walked away with nuggets of wisdom, leadership components, and things that you could implement, whether it be in your family or whether it be in your learning environment or your teaching environment or whatever the case may be. Our hope and our prayer is that you walked away with something that is very tangible that you can use immediately. If you have enjoyed this broadcast, take a moment and share it with others so that we can continue to spread the word of how we are utilizing the component of empowerment through our broadcast, Teaching Boys and Raising Sons, so that others can be empowered as we all walk in this thing called life together. Also, if you are looking to donate to an organization, please consider us. We are a 501c3 organization, and so all donations are tax deductible. Once again, if you are looking for an opportunity to give in order for us to continue this broadcast, visit our website, also listed below, but also take a moment to just donate or share or let individuals know of the great work that we're doing under our broadcast, Teaching Boys and Raising Sons. We are so honored and privileged that you have taken time out of your day. We know we are all busy. And we are so excited that you have taken time out of your day to come and learn a leadership nugget, a word of wisdom, or something that we hope that will encourage you on your journey. Once again, I am Shamika Smith. I serve as the Executive Director and founder of the Brotherhood of Excellence Academy. Again, visit our website located at the bottom of your screen, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.